Hello and welcome back to this hardcore barbarian guide where I try and give you some tips and tricks to get through the game from normal all the way through to hell on a hardcore. So following on from the last video, we beat Bale in normal, we've come through to nightmare, and this video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a much shorter video where I tell you some tips and tricks for getting your character ready for nightmare. So if we have a quick look at where we are, our resistances are actually quite good because we've managed to find some nice rings with resistance, nice amulet with resistance. We got our Hazaru's belt and boots from Andariel in normal. It's given us a lot of stats. But what if your stats aren't this high, especially resistance? So we need to now really start thinking about how are we going to survive. We're on the hardcore. If we die, it's game over. So it's really important that our survivability outweighs our damage. And the best way to increase your survivability is capping your resistance, having a decent life pool, having a good defense, and if required, using a shield so that you've also got block chance. If you take all of them into account, you will be able to get through the game. It might be a little bit slow because your damage is lower, but you should survive much better, much easier. So how do we gear up to get through nightmare when you've only just got to nightmare? And the answer is you go back to normal. This will take you 5 minutes, 10 at the most. So we're going to go back to nightmare, and we're going to buy, if you haven't got them already, some plain open socket armors. Best place is Act 2. So I'm going to go through to Act 2, go to char. And there's quite a few that we're looking for, but it's very easy to do this. So it'll probably take you about 5 minutes. We want a 2-socket helmet, so there's a 2-socket helmet. We want a 2-socket body, there's a 2-socket body. We want a 2-socket shield. There isn't one at the moment, but we also want a 3-socket body and a 3-socket shield. So there's none there. We can just quite simply run out the town, run back in, refresh the vendors, and get our 3 sockets, body and shield. Now I've already done this just to save time, so let's get rid of that. So you'll end up with 1 2-socket helm, 1 2-socket body, 1 2-socket shield, a 3-socket body, and a 3-socket shield. It doesn't matter what body, what shield, what helmet. It can be a kite shield, it can be a round shield. It doesn't matter, any armour. You can actually also get shields from Drogden.
Ask and learn.
He sells shields. Technically, a bone shield will give you the best chance to block. So if you really want to, you could get your 2-socket shield from here. I don't think a bone shield can get 3 sockets. So that's why I just go to Farah, and you'll end up with, like I say, 2-socket helm, 2-socket body, 2-socket shield, 3-socket body, 3-socket shield. And as long as you've got your 2 of all of your runes from Countess, We were lucky we found one full in Act 5, so you might not have the full, but that's okay. As long as you've got 2 of everything, it's mainly Tal Valorts that we're going to need. We can go back to Nightmare, and we can easily almost cap our resistance. Go back to Nightmare with 2 or 3 simple items to make. Now, just to prove this out, obviously I've got a couple of charms, I've got some decent rings and armlets. I'm going to get rid of them all. So let's get rid of all these charms, get rid of my rings, and then I'll just drop everything else on the floor for now. So we are a naked character. Now we do have, because we are the barbarian, we do have natural resistance at level 4, which is giving us 35 all resistance. But you can see we're at +5 all resistance. So that's 35 from natural res plus 10 from the Anya quest in normal. So how do we easily cap our resistance? We do it with the 3 sockets, body and shield. The 2 socket gear we've shopped for, we will use them once we find runes in Nightmare. But for now, I'm going to make Ancient's Pledge, Valor Tal. So, Valor Tal in the shield, that's giving us almost 50 all resistance. And then your body, what I advise is you go Val, Ort, and then you can check what your resistances are, and you can see already we've capped fire and lightning, which are the 2 main ones that you want to cap out, and our cold and poison are both roughly at 50. If you've managed to find a thull, I would put the thull into the body armour. So we are now at 75 fire, lightning, cold with 53 poison. If you haven't found a thull, you could just put a Tal in there, which would then cap your poison resistance, and the only resistance you'll have under 75 will be cold. So you can see here, very simply, 2 pieces of gear, and we have now capped 3 of our 4 resistances. Now, if you are the barbarian, this will reduce your damage by quite a lot, and it's going to mean you change your skills. So if I just pick up one of my weapons,
I can't use this yet.
There we go. It now means, because we're only using 1 weapon, we can no longer use double swing or frenzy if you leveled that. So you're going to have to go back to either berserk or concentrate. I would advise concentrate for now over berserk, but the main skill we're going to use for damage is going to be whirlwind. It uses a lot of mana, but the first thing we're going to farm for in Nightmare is an insight weapon, which is going to give us that mana regen. So very simple. Valor full if you've got it, if not Valor Tal, and Valor Tal to make the rune word Ancient's Pledge in a shield, and your resistances are done, sorted. We've now also got a shield, so we've got that chance of block. We've got a bit more defense because we're using a shield, so this is all going to mean our survivability is much, much better. And that's it. So in the next video we will start to progress Nightmare, and I'll show you the best way to start farming, what we want to farm for, and how we progress our character and get them into a position where they can complete Nightmare just through farming in Act 1. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.